Good morning. It's the 28th of April 2020. Bitcoin prices are up against three touches of death again, and either going to break strongly here or they're going to push through and all of these shorts are going to get wrecked. That's what's coming up on today's episode. But first, the biggest thing I'm most interested in is what is going on with Bitcoin dominance. As Bitcoin has been rising up here, dominance has gone flat rather than dropping at the same time. So as Bitcoin breaks out from this formation or it pulls back sharply, I'll be keeping a close eye on what's going on with Bitcoin dominance as we're studying the bull market watch over on intro-to-cryptos.ca. We can see that just over the last history here, we've got from April the 9th, about 50 to 70 different coins that have been hovering in alert or hold status coin right now. And those are the first cutting edge coins on Binance that are likeliest to be the biggest gainers in the future. So if Bitcoin dominance is dropping and we are having altcoin season, this is the way that we are tracking each individual coin so that we can decide if we're going to be holding those as the wave of the bull market overtakes us. You can learn about the bull market watch over on intro-to-cryptos.ca. Click on the link up on the top. You will FOMO in later if you don't plan this out now. This is years in the making, so take this opportunity. Now let's jump into Bitcoin prices. The thing I'm looking here on the weekly relative strength index is the trend going on and on and on now up to the midline. Usually if it's breaking above the midline, we're good and things are golden. But if we're right at the point now that if it bounces back from here, it's probably going to give us that larger 1, 2, 3 formation that we've been looking for. Let's zoom in now on the daily time frame. Really the same thing. We're just watching this trend line of the relative strength index. And because it's gone past the midline and actually broken above levels that we've been watching and broken above levels that we've been watching, it still has room to go much more bullish into much more overbought conditions here on the daily. Let's go into the 12-hour because this is where we're going to start to see divergences, and I don't see a bearish divergence across these right now. If this was topping out, then I would expect to see that this would have been the divergence that played out as prices were going up, that we would have had a bearish divergence in the RSI, and I don't see it. So on the 4-hour time frame, this isn't a bearish divergence. This is, this is the uptrend. This is what happens in the uptrend is that we will go overbought and back to the middle, overbought and back to the middle, overbought. That's what happens in the uptrend. So if we're continuing to go into more overbought territory here, that is not indicating a top here. We go into the 1-hour time frame. The one thing that I'm noticing is the oscillation of the 1 hour. On this short time frame, we can see that it pulls all the way back before it breaks higher. Each time it's pulled all the way back, then it's pulled higher off of these levels. It's been really good. But this time we have only pulled back halfway. So that's either meaning that we've got more room to pull back yet out of this break, and we're going to come back and retest here before we're snapping higher. And we'll see that play out. Or we are already bullish and we are just going to be running now from the midline up to the top. We'll see how this plays out because we have such clear levels and the 3 touches of death there up at the top. When we zoom right in, we can see 1, 2, 3 times it's touched this, and this is a bearish divergence across those on this super small time frame. So because we've got such a tight level there, it gives us very clean levels to make decisions on. I love this kind of chart. That's why I like the 1, 2, 3 pattern. Now, when we go into the on-balance volume for the weekly view, this is way different than what we've had before. This buying out of this dump, after this dump is so dramatically different than what we've had before that, this has to do with the fact that the world's economy and the money supply has changed absolutely dramatically beyond what we can put mathematically in our head. The trillions of dollars that have been created between this time and this time are beyond anything that we've experienced ever in human history. And I do believe it's going to come out in the charts. So I want to be prepared on the long side, and I want to get my stop above my entry, and then I want to really just try to give it room and let it go. We're going to watch for our nitro trade entries as this goes up. Now, we've already got our established 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. If you've been watching along, we've been doing this 1, 2, 3 bottom here. We watched the next nested level of the 1, 2, 3, the third level of the nested 1, 2, 3, and we're just breaking stage after stage after stage. Up on the stairs, down on the elevator, absolutely could be. And if that is the case, we're going to see the volume change and go negative, and it's really not doing it yet. So let's go in closer time frame. Maybe this is the volume coming down at the end here. Maybe it just it seems too strong for me right now, and this was a lot more spotty on the way up. It seems more strong, actually more steady as we're going through this period here. So I see up from here, and if you see down and you see something I'm obviously missing, put it in the chat down below, or bring it over to our Discord. I want that kind of disagreement because I want to correct my mistake before it is expensive. So bring it over to our chat. Let's go into the MACD indicator. On the weekly view, you may know that I was a crazy bull through this period of time because it was crossing positive. We were coming up here. Had positive histograms. Man, it looked like we were just going to go right to the moon from there. And then COVID-19 got us. And it seems now that it's just been a reset and for this project and not a wreckage. And that we're just moved back a little bit. And we're back on track to what we were doing before. We just got knocked back a little bit, and we'll see. Because as this histogram goes positive, I am going to be just as crazy bullish as I was before. And here on the daily, we had the double arm straight up. We had the strongest histogram display all the way along here. There was nothing that showed us that kind of histogram display all the way along. And that is holding this positive for this long. And now it's come back, almost tested like it was going to break, and we've gone stronger again. So this has got to break if we're going to be coming down. We'll see it on the 12-hour. This will break and go negative, or it's going to flare wider as we're breaking higher. And if this crosses over and flares wider and we go to a positive histogram while we're breaking out, just got to go with it. Can't argue with it. When this is breaking stronger histograms down and this is flaring wider open down as we're breaking below these levels, that's your confirmation. And we'll see it over in the on-balance volume as well. The Ichimoku Cloud Weekly is interesting to me because when I get rid of the prices, the blue line is actually further away from the red line. That is bearish. And it's hard to see when the price is on there. So if we zoom in now to the 12-hour time frame, the daily time frame here first, looking pretty good. It's all very good and bullish. We're holding up above this, and it'll stay bullish for a while. It'll allow some movement. When we get into the 12-hour, this is when I'm starting to see that the blue is a good distance away from the red, and I want to pay attention because the further the blue is away from the red, the more they want to get back together. Every time the blue is far away from the red, they want to get back together. So it's like an oscillator, and the further away the blue is from the red, I want to watch what's going on. So let's go into the 4-hour. It has not crossed bearish yet. We're still good, positive. It could come and touch the cloud, and if it crossed positive, that would be a strong buy signal in the uptrend. But for now, it's still good, and the 1-hour time frame is still good. This would give us a cleaner range. If it starts to the blue cross below the red, and the prices are breaking below this cloud on the 1-hour time frame, that would confirm what we're seeing in the other indicators. If we go into the weekly Bollinger Bands, when we get above this midline, it is the first flavors of bullish, but we got to hold above that midline. We can't just poke our way above it and then come back. That doesn't really count. So let's go into the daily time frame. We are holding above the midline here and continuing on steady right up to the 200 period exponential moving average. The 12-hour has already broken above that 200 period exponential moving average. We are above our 1, 2, 3 formations. That's looking good. At the same time, we are still in the potential for this mean reversion trade to play itself out and prices to drop down from that. Been watching this one now for the last 3 days since it's gone sideways. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame. Also, the same mean reversion moving along there. As soon as it's breaking above that candle wick, then that's invalidated and we're on the trend. And everything will be confirming as that happens. The 1-hour time frame also very small, narrow neck. I think it's going to have a big move coming up. Now to wrap things up, we can see here that I'm watching for the Ichimoku cloud to see if this pulls back closer together. But if it continues, I just go with it. Same thing with the Bollinger Bands. We can see the trend and the mean reversion is right about to be decided here. When we get into the short time frame on this panel, we can see that we've got the potential for the 3 touches of death up here. Prices have to break up above it, or they're going to do a strong move to the downside just for the correction of it. As we go back into the longs and shorts, this is what we'll be studying on our Discord channel through the day. Join in. We'll watch as the shorts are starting to close their positions or the longs are having to close. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck in all of your Bitcoin trading. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.